You're listening to Dundalk's local community radio.
You're listening to the Sports Academy on Dundalk FM 97.7 and online. Sponsored by CX Sports, the home of champions, Sevens Cabs and Coach Hire, keeping Dundalk moving, and Fifes, proud sponsors of Dundalk FC.
Yes, folks, you're very welcome along to the Sports Academy. This is Sean Murphy with you for 2 hours of our local sport. Coming up in the show, well, what a wonderful couple of days for Dundalk with a victory last night over Bray, and last Tuesday night, well, they earned their ticket to the Aviva Stadium in November with a brilliant victory over the mighty Shamrock Rovers. Now, I'm delighted to welcome my soccer panel today. Robbie Rafferty will be in at 5, jogs me memory every Saturday here, and Richie Ford, while the girls are in a big final, I'm sure we'll be talking about that. And you, the listener, well, you can also have your say by texting 08709099791, or you can phone in on 9395100. And as I always say, this is your show as well as ours, so if you have anything to say about Dundalk, anything at all, well, we're here to help. And as I said, on the week that Dundalk qualified for the FAI Cup final against Cork City in the Aviva Stadium on the first Sunday in November the 5th. I'm delighted to welcome back my soccer panel, Roy Mackin in the corner, Gussie Herty in the middle, and Nicky Herty here, or Nicky McCourt just beside me. And of course, the boys will express their opinions on the happenings of Dundalk FC on and off the field. And I'm going to jump a couple of days back because there's only one game we can start with, and that's Shamrock Rovers 2, Dundalk 4 after extra time. Roy, what pleased you most about that display?
I think the performance from the goalkeeper up to the outside that, I think they were fantastic. Every player gave 110%, John. And even when Rovers drew, you knew Dundalk were going to come back. I thought even McMillan, they just worked their socks off. Yeah. And they got good goals, and Stephen O'Donnell's goal was the 8th in the K. I don't think you could fault anybody in the team, John. But I think some of Rovers' tackling was unreal. I mean, the referee let an awful lot go. I mean, Dylan Conley was lifted out of it. And He's still, I was seeing him last night above the game, he's still limping. And the referee, he was hardly going to give it a card. And you have Bradley Cause.
I don't think he gave a free kick for her even.
You had Bradley calls the melee, and then he walks away as if he'd done nothing to get everybody else involved. But I think the performance, John, was outstanding. And doing it up in Tala, and the way that we were treated, it was absolutely fantastic. Yeah. I mean, I'm still thinking about it. It was great. Absolutely.
They have great character, Gussie. They're never beaten legs, and that's a great sign in the team, isn't it?
Yeah, but just as Roy said, getting into the game, John, like the amount of players that we were missing. You know, there was Chris Shields was doubtful. And Vanderlyn came off after maybe 20 minutes, and you had no Mountney, and with McElhenney, like we'd 5 or 6 probably regular good first team players that you went into that game. You know, it was touch and go. You know,
we were using up our bench because we did a lot of young fellas there too.
Yeah, but like the 5 or 6 players that we were missing are really top class players in the Dundalk side, and no team could afford to do without them. And going into the game without them, you know, and to get the result that we got, that's what surprised me, and that's what I enjoyed about it, to go out. No. And like we lost Dylan Conley, we lost Vanderlyn during the play as well, like, and they're massive big losses for us. But you know, the people that came in done quite well, and everybody was surprised that Chris Shields would come on maybe 20 minutes from the time.
We were told he was out for the season.
You know, Stephen O'Donnell was excellent, because we were all a wee bit wary of him lately that maybe he can't get through the games. No. But he could show 120 minutes. But it was a great team performance, a great effort.
Was there anyone impressed you, like, more than the other, or would you just leave it at that it was a team performance?
Well, I thought maybe O'Donnell impressed me very well. I thought the back four, as usual, are very, very solid. You know, they probably let us down at the start of the season, but they've come into themselves, and you can see the amount of clean sheets we have at the moment. And well, there wasn't one the other night, but in previous games, and I just thought it was a good team performance, and it's always great to beat them. Not once, but as many times you play them.
Nicholas, you're not a patron of Tala.
No, John.
Do you want to tell us the story? No? Or you just don't go up to see them, that's it?
No, I said, John, I very regret missing that game. I regret not being able to go away to Tala, but I'm not the only one. I was quite a number of people last night in the bar, and I was surprised a number of people said no, I don't like Tala. I find the atmosphere very intimidating.
Which it is.
It is.
I can vouch for that.
You can vouch for that from some of the guys who are up abusing you, and that's the only way to put it, John. I believe were the guys in the 40s and 50s.
Yeah.
They
weren't teenage supporters, no.
No, and I saw that before the Satanta Cup final. Some people then were complaining that they couldn't get a ticket. I think Rovers only gave 600 tickets. I heard on the outside too, the toilets were locked. And some of them couldn't even get across
the locked the toilets at half time, the ladies' toilet.
Yeah.
So,
don't know.
God love them. Where could they go after that?
I don't know, but on overall the result, when you look at that, and to beat Rovers again, and for them to lose a cup final in their own home ground and then losing that game, I think Gussie is right about this team. That's character, John. That's what you'd hear about years ago from the great Man United teams, like, even the 40s, 60s. They're never out. They're never down. They may be down, especially from reading reports. They were ahead on the play, and then they fall a goal behind. Yeah,
they went behind 10 minutes, and of course it was worse to concede that goal because Finn scored it.
Yeah,
when an ex-player scores it again. Yeah. You know what I mean?
And then the 2-1 with 5 minutes to go.
And then another ex-player comes them level 85 minutes.
Yeah. But interesting, I was reading about that Stephen Kenny brought the team down again as he did in the cup final.
Yeah.
In front of the Dundalk supporters.
Yeah.
And seems to generate the energy. But to do that, there is no praise. I mean, they go to the cup final, and Rovers must be sick, especially the so-called, as they are called, the cup specialists. But it's 30 years since I won the cup.
Yeah, it's 31 now, right?
It's 31 now. And I tell you one thing, if I was Stephen Bradley, I'd be looking at my back.
Yeah.
I can see Harry Kenny moving back there as a director of football, and your man being done as a coach.
Right. Well, we read a lot about this Rovers team, and you're after mentioning Bradley. What would you think of this Rovers team, Roy? You looked at Rovers teams down through the years, the same as myself. I'm on record here most times we play Rovers saying they wouldn't lay some of the Rovers teams that I played against.
I think they're completely overrated, John. I mean, the press has them up as high as the Eiffel Tower.
But the manager doesn't help either, Roy, does he?
Well, you took 9 sentence off this year, John.
Yeah.
The discipline in that team is not good, and he was sent off once or twice himself.
Yeah.
Discipline's not good. And they're talking about Trevor Clark and young Bulger and these fellas. They're going to be superstars. I don't know where they're coming from.
Yeah.
The manager is definitely carried away, John.
Yeah.
This Rovers team, and I think their staff as well, because they just think there's nobody like Rovers. And there's the knockout. We won a league there. We won the League Cup there, and we have nothing about the cup. I think it's fantastic.
Yeah.
It'll make them think maybe. I think Ronan Finn says Dundalk's not Rovers. You're right, we're not Rovers. We're Dundalk. Far better than Rovers.
Yeah.
We're the team, I think, to watch at the present time over the last few weeks. And you were saying that you asked Nicky just who impressed me. I thought Jamie McGrath has impressed me over the last few years.
I think he's come of age, hasn't he?
I think he's coming right now. He's the one player that impressed me, but I think Rovers are most certainly overrated, John.
Yeah. Gussie, what player in the Rovers team would you take for Dundalk?
Oh God, John.
Take the bones out of that one.
Yeah, you're right. Would there be any of them good enough to play with Dundalk?
That's why I'm asking the question, because we're reading so much about them.
You just look at the gap between Dundalk and Co and Rovers. We're 15 points ahead of Rovers.
Yes.
And there's a goal difference of 40 more goals we have scored than Shamrock Rovers.
Yeah.
So I couldn't really see anybody that I would take out of the Rovers squad that may come into our team. Couldn't. And saying that, John, a lot of Rovers players probably are good enough footballers, but with the likes of the manager and the backroom team that he has of Kieran Gilduff and McPhail, those boys were...
And the fitness coach that was sent off.
Yeah, well, look,
he was thumping everyone.
No, but those two boys there, Duff and McPhail, they were footballers. And I think there could be a lot of average players in that Rovers team if they were allowed to play football, instead of maybe getting niggly and getting stuck in your face. And if they were allowed to play, or if they were let play.
But have those guys an input into the team? That's what I'd like to ask and like to know. Because you look at Stephen Kenny and Vinnie Pert, and their two heads are always together. But you never see that with Bradley. He doesn't call them out of the box. He doesn't go in the box to talk to them. If you are a coach like that or an assistant, surely you're there to assist.
Well, if I was McPhail and Duff, and McPhail, I'd be looking at the Rovers situation at the moment. And as Nicky said, like, they can't go on the way they're going with the manager. What's his name again?
Stephen Bradley.
I don't think they can go on with him, because unless these two boys see something in the back room, that's maybe they're hanging on.
Well, we done a game with we were bet them 3-0 last year, and I said to you, look at him, because he hasn't a clue what to do.
Yeah.
You know, and he still gives me that impression every time I see him.
They're still a long way behind.
Yeah, he talks a great game in the paper, but there's 4 or 5 of them going to England, and there's 3 or 4 of them will be internationals in another year or so.
Yeah, and
now, where that evidence is, I can't. And it's certainly not in the league table, is it?
You know, he keeps talking about a 5-year plan, and the supporters recognise this, and that's why they'll be patient. Well, there want to be a lot of more patience. If you think they're disciplined, 4 sending offs against Dundalk and 9 altogether in that reminds me of the Sean Connor team that we had. We didn't know who was going to stay on the pitch.
Yeah, we done 18 that year.
We got 18. Now this fella, and the Rovers team, John, of years ago were a football team.
Yeah.
These guys are, in my opinion, they're a physical team. And that's quite obvious, but they'll go out, intimidate, try and get the injure a player. I'm not saying deliberately, but just too physical. And I agree with Roy. I don't know where the hype is coming, like, about Rovers, like, know.
I'd love to talk to one of their old players to get his impressions.
Funny issues. That's exactly what I was going to say.
Like, you know.
Yeah. I'd love to be talking to one of I'm thinking of the old guy that you faced up many times, Ronnie Nolan. That type of player.
Yeah, those guys.
That was a footballer. You know.
Yeah, we used to meet Ronnie regular because he was manager of UCD when was UCD, wasn't it, Gussie? When we played them in the Leinster Senior League.
Was it not Darky?
No, not Dark. No.
I remember Dundalk played. It was for a charity many years ago, the 1958 Cup teams. And Ronnie Nolan was on that team. And Jim McLaughlin said after the game, I wish I could have signed that player years ago.
No.
He picked out Ronnie Nolan.
Now
you compare him to the present Rovers team. They're hyped, as Roy says. They're all hyped up. But, you know, I don't know if I was a Rovers supporter, I don't know, but all you heard about this academy, they've got this wonderful academy they have. They're going to get the conveyor belt going again and all. That's all right.
They're spending millions on academies in England, but they're still buying from Timbuktu and Timbuktu.
Exactly.
Haven't they?
How long is that going to last? 30 years, 31 years?
I don't know, but if you're going to go by them, there's not many coming out of them.
No.
English players.
Bank of Ireland, John.
Bank of Ireland is right, Gussie. I knew you'd know because you have your banks off by heart. You're in them every day. Last Saturday, Finn Halves versus Dundalk. Wasn't it a scream to see the pitch itself? We're trying to sell this League of Ireland and to take us over to Finn Park, where it was a disgrace.
Alan Cawley, I had to agree with every word he said on television.
I didn't hear it. I didn't see it. I was here.
He said exactly what you said. Trying to sell, he says, the League of Ireland to people who are sitting at home, and we look at a pitch, he says, that was like a ploughed field.
Yeah.
And he's absolutely right. And I have to go back. They narrowed the pitch to stop Dundalk. You think it was supposed to be ploughed, John?
Yeah.
And then your man Connolly was taken out again by Mark Timlin.
Oh, yeah.
Not again.
Yeah.
Now, right in front of him was Paul Chute, the referee. And if you ever show it again, you'll see when Timlin falls to the ground after taking Connolly out, he looks up and you can see in his face, read it, I'm gone here. And your man gives him a yellow card. I mean, it was ridiculous, like, you know. Absolutely. But I agree to go back to the pitch, John. Player as Alan Connolly could have easily broken his leg or an ankle on that pitch.
But in fairness, Nicky, they had no game in that pitch for 3 weeks. And they had all the time in the world to get it right.
Yeah, I
I never seen a pitch like it in my life. I thought it was a pure and absolutely disgrace.
Absolutely, I agree with you, Chris. 3 weeks to prepare.
Yeah. And they turn up the pitch like that, and nobody could play football on it.
No, nobody could play it.
And they're going to be led away with it.
So we televise a pitch, a game like that, a pitch where the champions can't produce their football, and I'm sure Finn Halves can't produce whatever they produce. But it's a bad advertising for League of Ireland football, no matter what way you look at it. And how do you televise a match like that and not do the semi-final of the FAI Cup then? Yeah. The most prestigious cup that's been played for. Where are they coming from there? Whose fault is that? Because you have any ideas? Enlighten my mind.
Well, John,
It has to be RTE.
has to be RTE picking these games. And
Well, they'll tell you the budget was on, but it wasn't on RTE 2.
which,
The budget was on BBC or RTE 1.
yeah, but it amazed me how they come up with the idea of showing the Dundalk and Finn Harps instead of going to the semi-final of the FAI Cup.
They should repeat, I think it was Dragons Den that night, instead of showing the football. There was no schedule program, like, you know what I mean? It should repeat or something.
No.
They would have tucked up.
Well, they wouldn't like to walk in and try and sell League of Ireland football to the Dragons, if that was the way it was.
Yeah.
Huh?
Because Finn Park was scandalous.
Scandalous.
It's what would I say? We'll go back to last night's game. I suppose with all the injuries and everything, we knew Dundalk would be struggling to get a team out right. But in the end, we got the 3 points, and that was the aim of the whole thing, wasn't it? Keep Cork sweating.
Yeah, I mean, you look to Brea most times 10 men behind the ball. They defended as best they could. But we got good chances in that game, John.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
we thought we played well. We played some good football, even the two youngsters that came on. But it was just hard to break down Brea. But it was great that a goal came. But they never stopped in that, and they played some great football.
Yeah.
Good interpass now, but we are missing out for our chances, John. I mean, we need somebody to be able to get the ball in the net. We got enough chances now to win that game easy. And Brea got a fair chance at it. I was impressed with your man Aaron Green there. Centre forward.
Yeah, he done a hell of a amount of running, didn't he?
He put himself about.
Put himself about.
Yeah. But
Stephen Kenny had him with Shamrock Rovers, you know.
Yeah.
That's right.
And at one time, then he went to Limerick and went
Sligo, I think it was Sligo
Limerick and Brea.
Brea or something, yeah.
Yeah, but was the when they thought there was going to be trouble in Brea, he was mentioned to be coming here, Green, but I don't know whether he will or not. But Harry Kenny had him well organised, Sean, and Harry played well in goal, you know.
Yeah. What was your take on the game, Nicky?
I agree with Roy there. I mean, 10 men behind the ball. We still took our chances.
And Mr. Brennan done us a good turn again. You can always rely on the Brennans.
You can always rely on the.
Can't you?
Yeah, I said when he was fouled and he was. You could see him warning or saying having words with young Shane Grimes. I said to somebody, that fella, the head's gone, and of course he went straight up. With some you wouldn't see a street footballer, and barges into Shane Grimes, and of course got the yellow card, and then sarcastically claps the referee, and red card right in front of the manager. I'm sure the manager Harry Kenny must be very impressed with that,
Yeah.
And then the other guy, he's a very tricky player, but he's always liable to get a card to Gary McCabe.
Yeah.
He was at fault for
Next
the goal.
Shamrock Rovers, man.
Yeah, that's right. He lost the ball at the centre circle. And that's when the goal came. And when the ball's been sent, the next thing I saw the referee giving him a yellow card. You know, if you have that type of player in your team, you must keep, as Stevie Kenny says, you have to keep your man on the pitch. And he did pay a compliment to his own players, Stephen Kenny, when he said that they keep their discipline even when they're provoked.
Yeah.
And that's a sign of a good team. A sign of a good team too, John, I think, is, they could have easily gone up to Finn Harps and Ashworth. That's the point. So we were second anyway.
Yeah.
They didn't. They kept the won that game, and they went after Bray again to keep, as you say, Cork on tenterhooks, which is a very professional thing to do, I think. And
Well, Stephen Kenny will tell you he wants to win every game, no matter what it is.
Somebody said Stephen.
I'd say if you wanted to play Tiddlywinks, he'd want to beat you.
He'd want to beat you.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
He's that type of guy.
Yeah, and that's what you want—a winning mentality. The whole thing. Win every game, and now, particularly now in the cup final, every player will be playing out of his skin to get on that team.
Yeah. And
I thought the referee was good last night, Sean.
Yeah, I thought he handled it well. Yeah,
one of the better referees.
Yeah,
and he took no nonsense.
There's some of them very fussy, and then when you see free kicks that are free kicks that don't give them, and they ruined the game before that, giving free kicks for nothing.
I was impressed when I took the game very well, and he was no nonsense referee. If he called you back, you come back.
Yeah.
That's what I liked about him,
We were all, of course, waiting to hear the news from Daleyman Park. There was no score with Bowes. Anyone that watched it last night was telling me this morning it was a terrible game. But the champ is still on ice, as you say, Nicky.
Well, there's not much ice around that trophy. There wouldn't be as many ice that sunk the Titanic, John,
Yeah,
and
correct.
That's the way. And, they have to be nervous at this stage, Cork. I know they only need 1 point out of 3 games, and they said, they should get that. But
they only won 2 games in 8, Nicky.
2 out of the last 8.
Yeah, and they're not scoring.
I don't think that they've only scored 1 goal in most of their games.
Yeah, so
they haven't got 2.
They're not scoring, so...
Because he's the head of Sean Maguire Supporters Club.
We're just reading different things in the newspapers there where Shepherd was supposed to be interested in coming to the Dundalk. But he hasn't scored since June.
Yeah.
So, you're looking at centre forwards and...
Gone through a bad patch.
He's gone through a very bad patch at the moment. But, like, the 3 games, they played Derry Sunday, on Monday.
That's on television, you were telling me too, isn't
that's
it?
Right, that's
right. Well, that's in Turner's Cross.
A full house. Hoping to be getting.
But Derry have still something to play for because
they're a point behind Rovers with a game in hand.
Yeah. So it's not a gimme, sure it's not.
Derry, well, the top 4 positions seem to be safe enough. They seem that they'll get Europe, I'd say Derry. So, but
I thought the big prize money.
Yeah, but I'd say it's getting into Europe, and it's a big game on Monday.
With Dundalk and Co in the cup final 36,
something that sort of caught us all off the mark was Conor Clifford. It was sad to see that, wasn't it? I know we touched on it last week, Gussie, but when you read about him, he was having 5 accumulators and 10 accumulators, and
what were we doing ourselves?
It's 6 months everywhere across the globe.
But I'd imagine he's not the only player that's, we say, having a wee bet or a small bet. And as you said last week, John, he was playing down in the lower divisions, so you wouldn't be having mega money on that was going to sort of interfere with the results of one way or the other. But I think it's very, very petty that the things like that. I'm sure
if he could give his sister the bet, he'd be still having a bet, wouldn't he? Who'd know?
Well, no. I'd see. Obviously, he was
doing it himself. I mean, yeah. Oh, that's the thing. Yeah. But I mean, if you were giving your brother or your sister go in there and do that bet for me, he'd be still playing football, wouldn't he?
In fairness too, when you go in to play football, you know the rules and you know that you can't do these things. And why, as you say, why wouldn't he give it to somebody else rather than maybe going himself to do these things? But they know the rules.
But they're down and they're gambling back and horse and everything. So hadn't Michael Owen and a few more of their own private bookmaker and everything down.
Yeah, and many footballers do we read when they retire all the money they lost gambling.
Yeah. Well, your man spent some money there recently. Was it Wayne Rooney?
That was in slot machine. That wasn't betting in football.
Machines, you see, one of the things, John, I think what happens to these young players when they go to England is boredom.
Yeah.
And Niall Quinn draws on that in one of his books that you're absolutely trained in the morning, whole afternoon to yourself, gambling. Some players gamble, others might be on drinking. But and it's boredom, I think, in a lot of these cases.
They've that much money, they don't know how to spend it.
That's what's wrong. Exactly, John. That much money, they don't know how to spend it.
Oh, here we have a text from Blarney. You'll be delighted to hear, right? Well, John, enjoying the show as always. I have 3 quick points, John, if I may. Very disappointed with Stephen Bradley. He started the trouble on the lane and then walked away as if he knew nothing. They should be using the video evidence and he should be penalised afterwards. 2, they talk about Rovers being the best club in the league. The attendance on Tuesday night was 3,473. The 600 people from Dundalk gave Rovers. That left them with 2,080 of their own fans who have been supporting them, living in the area with a population of over 100,000. And Dundalk get an average of over 3,000 with a population of 40,000. And the third point is, my last comment, John, is still that there is not enough going to see this wonderful team. I didn't get home to Blarney till 2 o'clock that morning, Tuesday morning. Well, it'll be Wednesday then, but it was worked every single mile. And we see you in the Aviva. That's Andrew, Emmett, Kieran Mackin in Blarney. Come on to town. And 3 good points there.
Yeah.
Well, would you take any of them up, Nicky, at all? It is... we get 3,000 out of a population of 40,000.
Yeah, but it's a very good point, and it's a very good point too to make, John, about there should be more people going to Oriel Park.
Yeah.
I don't think people...
Why? But what's wrong? We can't play any better. No, we can't do any better as regards winning trophies.
Yeah, well, I think... Why? One of the reasons, I think, John, that there's an awful... plenty of people around who consider themselves football fans, but they're barstool footballers. What I mean of football fans, they're watching television too much. Instead of going up to Oriel Park, you know, the old saying, John, you'll never know what you had until it's gone. Yeah. And this is a wonderful thing. I mean, we just take people a bit complacent. 3 cup finals in a row. Now, I was
record for the club.
Record. I was thinking this only this morning. The first cup final I can remember Dundalk playing was 1958.
Good man, Nicky.
It was 19 years after that before Dundalk had a cup final.
And Shamrock Rovers too.
Against, exactly, in 58. And 77.
We didn't concede a goal that year.
Not right, correct.
And Hennessy missed a penalty for Rovers.
And Ted McNeil
did a grobbler.
He did a grobbler. He upset your man. I was talking to Ted about that many years afterwards in the Shamrock bar, and he told me, I asked him, was it true? He said he has still the letter at home, that some fella sent him a letter to say, if Hennessy gets a penalty, dive to your right, and it was signed, I hate Rovers.
Yeah,
yeah, that's right. It's that. And another thing, do you remember in those days too that the referee had to come from England? They didn't trust.
Yeah.
And the guy who was refereeing that game that day later became a minister in the Labour government, Dennis Howell.
Oh, good man. You're well up in your referees and ministers.
I remember that. Yeah. So I said 19 years after that before we got a cup final with Jim McLaughlin. Yeah. 19 years. And still...
Here we are getting 3 in a row.
3 in a row.
And some people have still won't come up to see us.
Still won't come up, you know. Yeah. I don't know what they're looking for.
Why would you say, right, what's happening here that we're not getting...
John, I
you
just
know,
don't know.
There was a time last night I thought there was going to be nobody in Oriel, and all of a sudden it filled up. But we didn't get an attendance last night.
No, God said it was 2,000.
2,000.
Yeah. Andrea, we should be getting at least 3,000 a week, maybe between 3 and 4. I think.
Yeah.
Where we are playing.
I know we're talking about we should be, but can you, like, fellas tell me, I'm I wouldn't go up there. I haven't been up this years, and it'd bring them bad luck and all this business. You know, where are they coming from?
Yeah, funny. Somebody said to me during the week, I won't go to the cup final. I said, why not? Well, the last time I was at them was the cup final and the loss. I think I'm a jinx.
Yeah, like they're not playing. Like,
I said, you're not playing. I said, exactly. So come up anyway, like, you know. If I get back into it, like, you know.
Have you any idea, Gussie, why the crowd's not turning up? Well, they're not going out to the Greyhound meetings either.
How many games have you played this year at home in Oriel? We have 20 between cups and all
easy,
that.
Yeah.
Well, I think the crowds at the moment for this season could be around about 80,000 people have went through the turnstiles in Oriel Park.
Right.
So you're talking, if it's 20, it's 4,000 a game, or if you're talking 23 or 4 games, it could be 3,500.
Well, it can't be if you're only reaching 3 most games.
Yeah, but like, Sean, you're on about people and they drift away, they don't come back. You know, the Shelburne dog track was closed for 9 months, and people don't go back there anymore because they got out of the habit of going. It's just unfortunate these things happen. That you're going to these places for years and years and you get out of the habit of going, you don't go back.
Yeah, but they're still football fans, they'll still talk about Dundalk.
Yeah, they probably will, yeah.
That's the mystery to me, like, and all if there is to go a couple of 100 yards the same as the rest of us, and you're in Oriel Park. It's not out in, it's not out of the town.
Cork, John, the 2 games against Dundalk below in the league, over 6,000 at them, and they're probably only averaging maybe 3,000 or 4,000 in the rest of the game. So they're dropping 2,000 people, you know what I mean?
And they have a bigger population, Cork.
Yeah, massive population.
No, it's a bit of a mystery, like, you know, Stephen Kenny, one of his first interviews I done with him, told me, like, that we won't always have these players, that, you know, and we've seen that. We've lost Hogan, you know, look at the players we lost. Towell, you know, Boyle.
And he
was right.
A big football town, you
know. Shawnee Maguire.
Huh?
Shawnee
Maguire, yeah. There's the secretary of the supporters club coming in now. On that high note, we're going to have a break, and I'll revive myself here for more in the second half.
This is Dundalk FM.